Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be doing another quick 7-round mock draft. Now it kind of sucks because I just put out a Miami Dolphins mock draft literally the day before all the trades went down. But if you missed it, we had the 49ers trade up to number 3, where the Dolphins moved back to 12, and the Dolphins jumped back up to 6 with the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're going to be doing a 49ers 7-round mock draft with their new 3rd overall pick, and we're going to jump right into it. Now, obviously, you're going for a quarterback. You don't trade up all these assets to go get not a quarterback. They gave up basically 3 first-round picks, including this year's. And I'm looking at all of these quarterbacks seem to be in play. If it was me, I would go for Justin Fields or Trey Lance. They've said they're keeping Garoppolo, so if you're going to have a guy sit for a year, I would go Trey Lance. He definitely has the highest upside, and a guy like Kyle Shanahan is like the perfect guy you want to be able to get a project player with that much talent. But a lot of the reports have been leading to Mac Jones. We've seen a lot of speculation. They chose Alabama's pro day over Ohio State's. And when Kyle Shanahan was asked in an interview about the decision to go to the pro day, Alabama's pro day, they said now that you're at 3, you don't have to hide as much things. So all the signs are pointing to Mac Jones to the San Francisco 49ers. Personally, if I were them, I would go to Justin Fields. I think he would do really well in their system. He's a very accurate quarterback. They have tons of yak guys. Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle are all great after the catch. So Justin Fields get you a guy I think he was like the most accurate quarterback in college football last year. Go in and get yourself a really accurate quarterback. That's what I would do. But I'm going to go Mac Jones here just because I feel like that's what everything, unless Kyle Shanahan, they're just throwing a big troll on all of us and they're trying to jump someone's value or something. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but it really seems like Mac Jones is who they like. I don't think it'd be an awful pick, but it's also a little confusing why they would trade up. I guess they're trading up to number 3 because they really liked Zach Wilson's pro day, and they're saying, hey, we're happy with Zach Wilson or Mac Jones, and they're assuming it's going to be Mac Jones, but if Zach Wilson, they'd be happy to take him too. So we're going to go Mac Jones for the number 3. I wouldn't personally go there. I would definitely go Justin Fields or Trask over him, but that's what the signs are leading to. So we're going to get him in the first round. Now we're back up. Pick 43 in the second round. Interior O-line is definitely a position. They could use some guards. So Wyatt Davis, Creed Humphrey could play guard. He's looking more like a center. On Wuzuriki, they could use some interior. Landon Dixon, probably another center. They could use a guy on the edge. Carlos Basham's an interesting guy that can actually play inside too. He can shift in and out, kind of like a Jadeveon Clowney, how he does better inside. They could definitely use some playmakers in Elijah Moore or Pat Freiermuth there. I really want to get another receiver because it's pretty much Deebo and Brandon Ayuk right now. And if you're going to have Mac Jones or Garoppolo, you need a lot of weapons around him. And Elijah Moore would be I love what Elijah Moore ran a 4.28, I believe, the other day, which is crazy because we already know he has great route running skills. He's a little smaller, but it doesn't seem like that. I don't think Shanahan's going to care about a smaller guy. They could definitely attack corner. Tyson Campbell wouldn't be awful here. I think I'm going to wait on corner, though. I'm not going to attack corner just yet. Actually, if I'm the 49ers here, I'm going to go ahead and get myself Wyatt Davis. I think he's probably the second best guard behind Elijah Vera Tucker in this draft, unless you consider Rashawn Slater, which I don't think a lot of teams do consider him a guard. But I'm going to go ahead and get Wyatt Davis, probably the best guard. I think he just had his pro day at Ohio State, coming off of an injury, but they could definitely use some O-line help if they're getting a young quarterback or Jimmy Garoppolo. So we're going to go ahead and get him at pick 43. Now, like I said, I was saying before, some of the positions I definitely want to target, maybe a running back, receiver, in secondary now. They could use some interior D linemen to pair up with Kinlaw in the middle. But we'll kind of see how the board falls out. I know the San Francisco 49ers have a lot of late-round picks. I was doing a couple earlier just to kind of see who's going to be there and what I liked. And I noticed they have a lot of later-round picks, which makes the 7 rounds a little tougher because you get a lot less prospects down there. But we're back up the board at 102 in the 3rd round, late 3rd round pick, and we're looking at all the different options. I definitely could see them going with a running back. I think Chuba Hubbard would be a great fit in San Francisco. Kind of like that's kind of a mold of running back they kind of like. Chuba Demetric Felton would be really interesting to see what they do with him. Definitely wouldn't go this high on a guy like Demetric Felton. Tommy Tremble would be an interesting guy because a lot of people see Tommy Tremble as kind of a U back or whatever you call an off tight end in that certain system, more of like a fullback, off ball tight end that's going to be doing a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage, kind of like Kyle Juszczyk. He's a little bit better of a tight end than Juszczyk, but I could see them using him like they use Juszczyk, and I don't know how long they're going to hold on to him, so he could definitely be an interesting pick for the 49ers if they want to go that way. Jalen Twyman, I know he had an awful 40-yard dash. I think it was like 5'6" or 5'5", wasn't good, but he is strong. He put up 40 reps on the bench press, which is insane. He is definitely an option on the board. Looking at corners, see if anyone's fallen down to us. Tay Gowan's the only real guy I like for value. Maybe a Keith Taylor could be decent value here in the third. Other than that, Jamar Johnson, I definitely like him. Now, they have two solid safeties, but they could definitely use an upgrade at safety if they get a good enough player. I think at this position, I'm actually going to go ahead and get Jamar Johnson. I know he's rising on a lot of boards right now. I see a lot of people putting him higher and higher in their big boards and positional rankings. I'm going to go ahead and get them a versatile piece. I know they have two safeties, Jaquiski Tart, and I'm totally blanking on the other safety's name, but they have two decent safeties, but he'll sit behind. He can kind of be that third safety on some nickel packages, and he can eventually take over because those safeties aren't exactly all pros, so you definitely want to get some more depth there. Now moving on to the fourth round, 117 for the San Francisco 49ers. Still could attack running back. A lot of guys. The only thing I'm thinking about is running back value seems to be holding pretty well. I don't know when our next pick isn't till the 5th, so don't want to hold on to. We got Jalen Darden would definitely be an interesting pick. Throw him in there. Cade Johnson, another guy I really like, could be interesting receiver prospects. If you're looking at backup tight end, there's some. I feel like the tight end class really. There's the Kyle Pitts and Pat Freiermuth are the top end, definitely in their own tiers. I'm not even saying they're together. Then there's a couple guys, maybe second or third round, but after that, I'm not a fan of many of these guys. So if the board's falling out like this and I'm the San Francisco 49ers, I'm probably attacking offense. Really right now it's between if I want to get Chuba Hubbard or if I want to go Jalen Darden at receiver. I'm going to go Jalen Darden because I still have Mostert. The reason I'm really looking at running back is because he's been very injury prone and you definitely want to get yourself another guy. But I think they also like a lot of guys. You saw guys like JaMycal Hasty play in last year. You saw Jeff Wilson Jr. playing last year. They had some guys coming in contributing last year that, like, I feel like they're a very good system. Their run game is very well systemized by Kyle Shanahan. They don't need a great running back running it, so I don't think they need to attack running back that high. Now we're back up here at 155. I'm going to go with Tay Gowan here. I know there's some people are really high on him, some people are really low on him. He hasn't played in a while. He played 1 year at UCF after transferring from... Was it Miami? No, I don't think it was Miami, Ohio. I don't know. He transferred to UCF, played 1 year, opted out this past year because of COVID. Some people have him really high, some people have him really low. Overall, I think it's a great risk, especially at 155. It's not even that much of a risk. High talent guy. I think he's going to be really good in the league. And I'm personally one of those guys that I think higher of him than a lot of people. Now we're back up at 172. Cornell Powell sitting here, that would be a really interesting guy. I know he's a great blocker, which is one of the things I believe. I was hearing something about, like, if you look at his blocking numbers, PFF does their run blocking grades, and I believe he had like an 80-something run blocking grade, which would make him like the 10th best tackle in college football based on run blocking grades. So he's a great blocker, so he could definitely be a player that can come in and he can play day one because he's going to go out there and block his ass off. So that would definitely be a pick that I could see the Niners liking a guy like that. If we want to attack the D-line group, looking at what we have left, Tonga, I like. He could be a decent pick here. A lot of these guys, if you're looking, they're not going to be playing day one, but so that's when I kind of like to I like to target some of the guys with the higher upside that you think maybe can play in the future. I think I might actually go Dalen Hayes here. I think it's Dalen Hayes. I'm going to go him. He's another guy that has a lot of tools coming out of Notre Dame. I think he could come in and maybe join the rotation, probably not be a starter, but he can come and get some meaningful reps, and then hopefully you can get him better and better each year to move into the future to get some meaningful reps. Now back on the board at 180. Now looking at our picks, we have looks like 3 picks left. We have 180, 194, and 230. Linebacker is definitely another position I want to get some more value at. Corner is another one. Just get some guys in those rooms. A lot of people leaving in the offseason from different positions. Receiver, you can still get some depth. I'm going to go with, I talked all about Cornell Powell and all the things he brings, and I'm going to get him just because I love the fact that he's going to block, and he can come in day one and get meaningful reps in his rookie year. And I think he has an upside. I mean, he's built. I mean, he's great. He's a professional guy. He played at Clemson with Trevor Lawrence. He's going to have less of a learning curve than some of the other guys you're looking at all the way down here in the 5th round. So we're going to go Cornell Powell at pick 180. Just get more bodies in that receiving room because it's a really weak receiving room as a whole. I know I love Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk at the top, but just getting more depth behind that I think is one of the more important things that the Niners need to do in this draft. Now moving on to pick 194 in the 6th round here. Like I said, another position I definitely want to target is corner. Out of the guys that are left on the board, I guess Bryce Thompson is an interesting prospect here. Other than that, really DJ Daniel would be the only other guy I'm looking at. We already got safety. Linebacker, I definitely would like to use. Charles Snowden would be a really interesting guy. I've talked about him in a couple other my 7 rounds. He's, I believe, 6'7", 260 or something. 6'7", 235, but he's huge. He played off-ball linebacker in Virginia. I think people expect him to play off-ball linebacker, maybe an outside linebacker. He's just a prospect that I would love for almost any team to go ahead and grab later on in the draft just as a prospect. I'm not going to grab that here. I'm actually going to grab here. I might go ahead and get someone to join the running back room. I'm not liking all the guys on the board that we have here. The running back class has gone pretty fast. Tight end. I'm gonna go with Luke Farrell. I actually had this one of my other 7 rounds. He's a really good blocker coming out of Ohio State. That's one of his main things, is that he was a good blocker. And so that's another thing like Cornell Powell that you can come in, especially the San Francisco 49ers are one of the teams in the NFL that love running the ball. A guy like Luke Farrell can come in day one. They'll run a lot of 12 personnel. They can pair him up in there with George Kittle, run that 12 personnel. He's going to be a great blocker, help your run game, and he can catch too. I mean, he's definitely can do a lot of different things. I think he'd be a great pick there. Like, you see the kind of theme, you want to get some playmakers, but then also the Niners could use just some depth guys that can come in day one and block at their skill positions because they love to run the ball and they have a really good running system, so you might as well take the most advantage of that as you can. Now we're back up on 230. I believe this is our last pick in the draft. Chauncey Golston that's who caught my eye first. I really like Chauncey Golston as a kind of high upside guy. Looking at the rest of the board that's coming out, Bryce Thompson would definitely be an interesting guy. To get more depth in that, how many corners have we selected in this draft? It was just Tate Gowan, I believe, right? Yeah, so definitely I'm definitely thinking about Bryce Thompson. That could be a decent pick. Just getting more depth at that corner is definitely a good thing if you're the San Francisco 49ers. You know what? That's who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go ahead and get Bryce Thompson out of Tennessee, get some more depth at that corner position, some young guys in that room. And looking overall, I feel like this is a pretty good draft. I mean, you traded up, you got your quarterback of the future in Mac Jones in the 1st round. You gave up 2 more 1st rounders in the future, so you got to hit on some of these guys in the draft. I really like Wyatt Davis. I think that's going to secure the inside of your line. And then Jamar Johnson is another guy that I don't know if he'll actually even make it to the 3rd. He seems like he might be more of a 2nd round pick. So if you can snag him in the 3rd, that would be great. Then you get some guys later on, Tate Gowan, Cornell Powell, and Luke Farrell especially, who are guys that I could see playing early on in their rookie years and having an impact, especially guys blocking like this. Yet again, let me know what you guys thought about this draft. Any picks you would change, you liked, you hated, any of that. Let me know if there's any more teams you want to see me do a 7-round mock draft of. I got a special video coming out on Thursday for you guys. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. And I'm working on currently doing a breakdown of all the top 5 defensive ends. I'm going to be doing a film breakdown and some defensive end positional ranking on those guys. That's going to be some interesting stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.